You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon. Week 9 is in the books. Week 10 is coming up. We're on the bad side of mediocrity last week.
Oh, I was below mediocrity.
I mean, our actual results, terrible. We didn't pick the Thursday night games because of the late podcast recording. So we had 12 games. You went 3-8-1?
Yeah. Well, at least you went 5-6-1.
Yeah. Just brutal.
I'm killing it this year. How far are you ahead of me now? 2?
I think it's 2, possibly 3. But I think it's 2.
Yeah, I think we were tied at the last one when I left.
Yeah, I think you'd come back after yet another stellar performance by me.
Times make my late season surge.
Well, we'd better do something, because, I mean, we did hit our best paying bet. Or our second best paying bet. New Orleans -4, 10 paid 20.50. So we
in that range anyway. Because I think he has $15 or $16, which isn't horrible. It's not great, but as we were talking on Sundays, we got together to watch the Chargers Titans game. It's a pretty inexpensive hobby.
Yes.
So,
okay, we are not going to recap all the games going forward. We're just not watching enough to have an opinion on most of them. I'm mainly watching Red Zone. The primetime games have been a waste. I finally didn't watch one that was supposed to be entertaining on Monday night. But that was mainly because I got so pissed off before halftime.
Yeah, I saw none of it. I was watching the Islander game, which, with the Cubs winning, I hadn't watched any hockey, so I'm getting caught up on my Islanders.
Everyone's probably familiar with the kick fiasco there, but honestly, watching that play out in real time, I've never seen anything look that crooked. Like,
well, I didn't see it. You texted me, the game's fixed or something. I'm like, which game? Because I'm not expecting you to be watching Monday Night Football.
Well, and Rex Ryan did the smartest thing I've ever seen coming out for the spike, which now I'm reading is theoretically illegal except under extenuating circumstances. So, yeah, the NFL rulebook's plain as day.
So why was it illegal? I saw the headline and didn't read it, but what made it illegal?
Supposedly you cannot spike the ball unless it's a running clock situation at the snap. Otherwise, it's intentional grounding.
Which would have been 15 or no. Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It only moves them back where they spiked the ball.
No, intentional grounding is 10 yards and loss down.
Oh, I thought it was a spot foul.
No, it's 10 yards, loss down.
Well, if they wouldn't have fucked up royally there before, it wouldn't have mattered.
No. And debate the roughing the kicker all you want. I mean, that's fine. But then to stand over the ball till 2 seconds left on the play clock and call them for delay is where things got very fishy for me. It's not like they could have gotten the playoff any faster.
Well, it's not even that. I think the roughing, because if that was a quarterback, they'd be calling Goodell for a meeting.
Yep. And justifiably so.
Well, yes.
Unabated to the kicker or the quarterback should be roughing. Seattle fans, of course, are saying, oh, well, there was no whistle, but that doesn't apply to unabated either.
No.
So
I can't say I've ever seen that before. An offside on that and the kicker get steamrolled.
No, and he did take a soccer dive, but I would too if a guy just hit me outside of the rules. Like, even when he took it, I said, that looks a bit soccerish to me. But
yeah, but he shouldn't be. Well, they know better for next time. Go down, but hop back up so the trainers don't come running out.
Yeah.
Which is the cause of the whole spike the ball fiasco after that.
Yeah. It's...
If he doesn't stay down and the trainers don't come out, because you have to leave for a play.
Yeah.
Once the trainers come on the field, you have to leave for a play.
And that was the smart move by Ryan with 4 seconds. Just line him off, spike it immediately, which in this case should be fine too. It lets you get your, kicker. You almost always only have one of those guys on. But yeah, it tainted what I've heard was actually a very entertaining game.
Didn't see a snap.
A game I unfortunately saw a lot of snaps of was Philly, New York.
Yes, I watched most of that one too. Because what was my other choice? Oh, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. That was a barn burner.
Oh, thing of beauty. As you pointed out on Sunday, though, we've got to remember that when Roethlisberger comes back from injury, he's 2-6.
Yeah. Because he will inevitably get hurt next year, too.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I'm not giving up on him getting hurt again this year. But Carson Wentz came out and threw 2 of the worst picks I've ever seen. Suddenly we were in a 14-point hole. The safety play throughout the whole league, everything we saw, the safeties could not take an angle. I thought that was pretty much their job.
Yeah, but the Eagles outplayed him the whole game after that.
Yeah.
Outscored him 23-14. The problem I had with that game, aside from the 2 picks, was Doug Peterson going for it early in the game on 4th down when the 3 points made more sense at that stage of the game.
Yes.
He went for it twice. And here's the other thing, Doug Peterson. Every other time inside the 10, Darren Sproles was not on the field. 4th and 1 from like the 3, Darren Sproles gets the ball. At the 10, Ryan Matthews runs in a touchdown. I think it was his one of 3 carries on the afternoon.
And their other big back ran in a touchdown from short later.
Yes, Barrow or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I think it was Barrow, not even Smallwood, who's Sproles like in many ways.
Sproles 4th and 1. I thought they were going to run a screen pass or something to him when he was in there. I thought they were going to try something a little more creative, like the 2-point conversion plays. They tend to get a little more creative. Why not treat it the same? You're at the 3 instead of the 2. What fucking difference does it make? And they stuffed him half a yard short. They got no push. The fullback got nothing. It was a fucking joke. And they still had a chance to win. They were inside the 20.
And then it was, 4 pass plays, even though time wouldn't really have been much of a factor. You probably could have forced New York to take the times if you wanted. And 3 of those had absolutely 0 chance.
Yeah.
So...
And they tried that fucking fade, I don't know how many times in the red zone, to Green Beckham. It was like, it's not working. He's getting no separation. He wasn't even getting behind the corner to even make it close. And we've railed on that fucking fade for how long?
Oh, I know. I mean, maybe in Giants Stadium, all the other plays are magically removed because that's a classic old Giants thing. 4 fades from the 7.
Well, that or the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, that pick, by the way, I stand by. We didn't get it, but I stand by my logic and reasoning. The Eagles were better. They got themselves into a whole questionable coaching. No, I
Well, and
stand
he panicked.
by that.
He panicked when they were down 14 in the first 4 minutes. He was trying to catch up the whole fucking game. He made coaching decisions that made no sense for the game time and situation. Yeah, in the fourth quarter, yes, go for it. In the second quarter, third quarter, fucking take the points. There's lots of game left, and the Giants had done nothing offensively since that first 4 minutes.
Yeah.
When they had to go the length of the field to get points, they weren't getting any fucking points.
And I said last week that I quite like the Philly defense, and I do with one exception. That McKelvin is brutal. They just went after him all day.
Yeah.
So, our next loss. Wow. Denver, the ultimate result of this was to piss me off so much that the Chargers didn't let Melvin Gordon run from the 2. Let's talk about 4 bad pass plays to lose a game in the previous
not only
week.
that. I had no idea that the Broncos' run defense was that bad statistically, too. Number 1 against the pass makes sense now when everybody can run on them.
Yeah.
They're 24th against the run. So the number 1 against the pass means nothing. If you're number 1 against the pass and number 4, 3, 5 against the run, that impresses me. But when everybody knows you can't stop the run, why would they pass?
Yeah.
They just handed the ball off all game. And
They
kicked the snot out of
manhandled
the
that
Raiders.
defensive line.
Oh, that left side of Oakland's line fucking murdered them on the run.
Yeah.
I read a thing or saw a story that's one of the offensive linemen, I think it was Penn on that left side, said they ran the exact same play 10 times in a row against them. Same running play, and they had no answer.
Wow.
So if you think Denver has a shot at winning the Super Bowl, they've got a lot of improving to do.
And it certainly doesn't help that Derek Wolfe is out for at least this week with some kind of fracture in his elbow. So he's saying he thinks he'll only miss 1 game, but players always say they could go, you know?
Yeah. Well, Terrell Suggs is playing with a torn bicep, so if you got a little boo boo on your elbow, you should probably play. But
yeah.
But Denver Simeon, it reminded me like I was watching the Titans game from earlier in the day. They didn't have a first down in the first quarter. He had like 7 yards passing. It was awful.
Time of possession was close to 41-19 in the game.
Yeah.
And really good coaching by Oakland. It's just, this is what we're going to do. This is our plan. They had a clear vision of how to beat them. And this score completely flatters Denver. Oakland destroyed them.
And it would have been closer if Sanders could have hauled in that bomb at the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That would have turned that game on its head.
But I think it was on the Ringer podcast, I think. If Simeon can't do anything against New Orleans, they're going to hook him. They'll give him one more
they
game
don't have a
against
choice.
an atrocious defense. And if he looked terrible, by the way. No accuracy, looked panicked all the time. So, yeah, this is kind of Trevor Simeon's last chance.
Yeah, but Denver has no running game either.
No, but since that game in Cleveland, Simeon has not looked good. He looks below backup.
Yeah, but okay, well, let's go back to our argument about Ryan Tannehill. Miami looks like a different team when they can run the ball.
Yeah, but
and
he
take
still
some of the
doesn't
pressure
look
off.
good.
No, but he looks better. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, But your quarterback play is going to improve if you can run the ball.
Well, yeah, but then you get into a situation like this Denver-Oakland game where Oakland's pretty good against the run and has had huge problems against the pass. So I'm not even certain that Denver's running game is that terrible. I mean...
It's terrible. Where's CJ? Is CJ Anderson hurt?
Yeah, he's on IR.
I
think he might be able to return later, but...
Oh, he's one of the 8-gamer? Because their running game was awful. Well, if Oakland doesn't win that division now...
Well, there's Oakland, there's KC breathing on their heels, right? And they've already lost that game. But, I mean, this was also from the Ringer, but in the writing they just said, it's a shame these AFC West teams have to beat the shit out of each other while there's a pillow fight going on in the AFC South.
Yes, but how many years in a row are we going to go through? It's the same every year.
Oh, I know. It's just a shame. I know. It's just a shame. But the AFC South has been a shit division for a long, long time.
Yeah, for a few years now. But the AFC West, as I recall, was that way for quite a few years, too.
But yeah, it's funny how that... take it personally. It's just, let's face it, the South's brutal.
No. I'm just saying, the AFC West...
The AFC West was bad once, too, man.
No, not recently bad. Everybody forgets
we've only
Oakland
sent people to the Super Bowl
dumpster fire
2 of the last 3 years.
Yeah, and what helped Carolina get there last year?
Oh yeah, I mean it works that way. It's just
I know I'm not saying it's against any division. I'm not just saying the AFC West. There's that division every year, 1 or 2. And do we really think the AFC North is that strong?
No, I certainly don't.
So, I know I'm not taking it personally, but and I had this argument before when the Titans were trying to get in the playoffs and there were shitty divisions, but that gave me some perspective, or you did anyway, kind of put me in my place. And it's stupid to even bring that up. You play who you play.
Oh yeah.
They're not changing geographically. They're not going to change anything because this is the only like how are you going to do it? You could still have 2 wildcard teams from the AFC West. It's not like they're being shut out because they beat the shit out of each other.
No, I would suspect at this stage that at a minimum 2 teams from the West are going to the playoffs.
Yes. Oh, yes. And come on, Kansas City, cash our bet.
Yep.
You didn't get behind the 8 ball as much this year. We actually have a legitimate shot.
Yeah, though, the Raiders improved a lot more than we thought they had. I mean, they've had some bounces go their way, but they are better than I thought. We still thought they were going to be good, but we just said they were probably a year away.
But one game that their margin of victory for 7 games is still 22 points.
Yeah.
Or their plus minus is 22 more points for than against.
They are a hell of a lot of fun to watch, though. I will add that.
Well, they have talent everywhere. And if their defense plays steady, they have a legitimate shot.
Yeah.
I still don't think they can beat New England, but because that pass defense in Oakland, Brady will pick that fucking shit apart.
Yeah.
That could be as ugly as when Oakland beat the Titans for the AFC Championship.
Yeah, Brady ain't Simeon.
When they got destroyed. No.
So,
okay, let's talk about some positives.
Yeah, well, our only positive.
1.
We took New Orleans -4 at San Francisco. And it was never truly in doubt that New Orleans' defense is still terrible. Every time we looked up at the screen, we were seeing more points going up in that game.
Well, yeah, like what was New Orleans up 14-0 early? And then at one point, wasn't it 28-20? And
yeah, it got to within 8 points. Yeah.
Yeah. In the third quarter. And we're like, what the fuck? But they hung on. What'd they end up winning by? 15 or something?
41-23, 18 points.
Okay. But it was a little shaky there in the third quarter.
Yeah, and they gave up over 300 to Kaepernick, bunch of touchdowns. I will say this, New Orleans on the road is not like former New Orleans teams. Suddenly Breeze seems to...
I think it says more about San Francisco than New Orleans, because they still only put up 16 against the Giants.
Yeah, that was early, but...
Or 13.
I'm not terrified of betting them on the road anymore. If I have to.
No, I'm terrified of losing our bet. Getting them under
we're
6.5.
trouble there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to
work. All our other preseason bets aren't doing too bad. Rams.
Tampa Bay needs to do fucking something.
Yeah, over 8.5. But what are they? 4-4? 4-5? That's not out of the realm of possibility. They go 5-2.
No. They need to wake up, though. We have the Giants under, too, I think. And they've won enough bullshit games, so we could easily lose that, though I still don't think the Giants are a good team at all.
We have the Giants under 8.5, the Packers under 10.5, the Browns under 4.5, the Rams under 8.5, and we had the Buccaneers over 8.5. So I think we're looking pretty good out of about 60-70% of those hitting.
Yeah, I think we got a reasonable shot.
I don't see a way Green Bay gets to 11.
No.
They'll win this week, but they're not getting to 11.
Yeah. And then the final game we'll talk about we got together for. San Diego, Tennessee.
Our yearly ritual of shit teams playing each other.
Yeah.
And that's why they get to play each other every year. Because they got to give each other a shit team to play against once in a while. And we both thought our defenses were better than this.
Yeah.
And as you pointed out on Sunday, ours wasn't as bad as the score looked. Because we gifted you 17.
Yeah, 14 at minimum. 14 directly on turnovers.
Well, yeah, returned for touchdowns, yeah. But 17 off turnovers total. And we lost by 8. I give the coaching one of those turnovers for the play call.
On
the fumble recovery. Yeah, running a college option play with DeMarco Murray and Mariota, and he keeps the ball and can't tuck it away when he's going to get hit. Nobody hit him, and he dropped it on that one.
Yep.
And the interception was that was the one that was set up the field goal.
Yeah.
Was the one at the end of the first half where you were like, oh, the receiver did it wrong. I said, no.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Just lofted it up. Couldn't read the coverage. The corner passed off the deep guy to a safety and just stopped and waited for the ball.
Yeah, I even thought it might have been mechanics because maybe the ball was that underthrown, but the replay showed it was just a terrifically bad pick.
Yes, didn't read the coverage at all. Which in second year, okay, still got to give him, because he's still putting up decent numbers and he makes some nice plays. It's just he's got that one or two plays he's like a young Ryan Fitzpatrick right now. It's those fucking game-changing, fuck you in the ass plays. He did it against the Raiders. Did it against the Vikings twice. If he ever corrects that part of it, the Titans, there's two more games the Titans should have, or 3 potentially, they should have won this year. If he doesn't make boneheaded mistakes.
Yeah, I'm a long way from giving up on Mariota.
No, I'm not giving up on him, but the growth of the team is being stunted by him right now and his decision making.
Yeah. And with DeMarco's toe, and then Derrick Henry pulled a calf in warm-ups, so he didn't play at all, and probably won't this weekend. Suddenly, your running game, which was working, you were kind of like the Cowboys without a good offensive line. It wasn't a bad idea, honestly.
No, we have a good offensive line. That's the stupid thing. We have a good offensive line by the metrics.
But now,
two of our...
we talked about this in the preseason, and we thought, maybe zagging when people think you're going to zig isn't a bad idea, and it's working for one team in the league.
Yeah. And it's working for us, too.
Yeah.
It has been working for us. Like, I think Murray's second in yards rushing behind Elliott. Like, our offensive line play has been good. Mariota hasn't been getting killed like he did the last couple of years. It's improved a lot. It's the turnovers that are killing us. And most of them come from Mariota. He's fumbled a bunch. He's thrown a bunch of picks. I think he might only have one game where he's been clean this year. And like I said, there's 3 games out there that we could have potentially won without his turnovers. I'm not going to say who knows how they turn out if he doesn't do that, but Minnesota did nothing in that game without the 2 defensive touchdowns.
I forgot all about that one.
So
that one did win me a lot of money in Vegas. So
yeah, but this Chargers game, the same thing. So if he can clean that up, we're in decent shape. We need more talent at wide receiver. We need more talent out of our secondary. Other than that, we're pretty solid. Decent tight end. Our front 7 is good. We just don't have the horses in the back end. So,
yeah, and I just want to talk a tiny bit about Melvin Gordon, who, he had 196 rushing yards, some more through the air. In both cases, the second best for the Chargers since LT left town. So, writing off these running backs after their rookie years sometimes is a mistake. And he looks good doing it, in my opinion.
Oh,
he's got great acceleration, great burst. He broke a few tackles on that game sealing.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The only 6 that I give a shit about, and at the end of the day mattered, was, and I'll call it, I'll give him some credit for breaking it, but that was shitty tackling.
Yeah, but enough arms on him that a good back gets through it and a bad one doesn't.
No, at that stage of the game, you should never get through. I don't care if it's fucking Jim Brown. When it's like 3rd and 6 or 7, and we have 3 guys hit him at after he's gained 3 yards, that's shitty tackling. I'm sorry. I know it's impressive to see him burst through tackles, but when you get hit like that in the NFL, you're not supposed to run through them. I don't care who you are. It's not supposed to happen. And that he did. He had a great game.
He has a great game without that carry.
No, I know.
And
that's
part of that is a bad offensive line, and Melly managed to wear down what I think is a decent front 7 from you guys.
Yeah, I don't know what our problem was in that game. We haven't been that bad against the run all year. He did. They had a great game, and one of the few teams that when they find something that's working with a running game actually stuck with it enough.
Well, they got so much heat for not sticking with it in the Denver game, so at least the public criticism of McCoy, he seemed to have listened to at least part of it.
Oh, and one thing I'm happy about with the Chargers is yesterday in the election, they voted down that proposed fucking hike in the hotel tax to pay for their new stadium.
It didn't even get to 50.
No, and they needed 66.
Yeah, I think their hope was it would get to 50 and they could challenge that court ruling. But,
yeah, they're done. But I give San Diego residents a lot of credit because most of them fucking crumbled to that pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they didn't. Some city needs to be the first one to tell them to stick it up their ass. Because most of the time these teams leave, it's like the Sonics did out of Seattle. It's fucking fishy. Right? We're keeping them here, and then they fucking backdoor them out. Is how it usually happens. Just like fucking the Browns moving to Baltimore and shit.
Yeah.
It's never legit. The Chargers are going because the people don't give a shit. And they go, we don't want to pay a billionaire and give him all the tax breaks and let him keep all the money. So in the old model where the cities and states owned the stadiums, they generated revenue for the city or the county or wherever the fuck the stadium was. Now they give public funds to build these stadiums and the owners control it for eternity. For concerts, for anything that fills the place up. It's not just football. They get it for the whole fucking year. So I applaud Jerry Jones. I applaud the people that paid for their own stadiums, and you cocksuckers that try and blackmail and hijack your cities, fuck off.
Yeah, we'll be a tenant in LA.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Build your own fucking stadium. Your team's worth $1 billion fucking dollars. Build a fucking stadium.
Yeah, but the other owners don't want that either because they all want to sidle up to the trough.
Yeah, but it works. You can build your own. Jerry Jones is worth the Cowboys in that stadium are worth over $3 billion. Build the fucking stadium.
Yeah,
it just goes into your net fucking worth and the value of your franchise when you own the fucking stadium outright. You dumb fucks.
Or you could be like St. Louis and still paying for the stadium that doesn't have a team. Okay, that said, I think it's that time.
It's motherfucking game time!
That's right, it's motherfucking game time. The Thursday night game. Cleveland +10 at Baltimore.
It's -9.5 now.
Oh, okay.
I
did write these down last night, and we couldn't. I think something happened in the States or something, and the internet was really busy.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but I thought it was Halloween.
Oh, okay.
I just saw a big orange thing on my TV last night, and I thought it was Halloween.
Yeah, so the numbers I've gotten written down may have slid. I'm glad you're on that.
Yeah.
Even then, this is close enough to a double-digit spread. I hate Baltimore, but I have said I don't want to waste any brain thinking about Thursday night games at all. I'm taking Baltimore.
And I'm the one that pushed you to that theory. And I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Baltimore's not good. I don't know how they are where they are. I'll compare it to Baltimore's the comparison to my fantasy team. Every game they play is against the team that plays their worst game of the year. And they somehow have a winning record with a shitty team.
Yeah, it's...
So I'm taking Cleveland.
Fair enough.
Even though it's hilarious, I put a post on the website the other day that said, with all the success in Cleveland sports teams, the Browns are making guarantees of their own. And their guarantee was that they'd win a game before the end of the year.
Yeah. I hate this game, but I will also say that everything I saw from Cleveland for the first time all year, they look defeated and listless. Good Cowboys team, but we'd called them a plucky team in the past. They just seem...
They are, but they haven't had to play it. Dallas is a really top team.
Yes.
So when you have a team that has 0 wins, that's the kind of game I would expect. Baltimore is nowhere near as good as Dallas.
Oh, God, no.
So, and the way Dallas is set up with Prescott, and they get rid of Romo's contract at the end of this year, they're going to be scary good for a while.
Yeah, it's time to look at the defensive side of the ball, but that's my one worry about Dallas.
But they'll have money to spend on defense now because they got their quarterback cheap. They're going to be like Seattle with Russell Wilson under his rookie deal.
Yeah.
That's what allowed Seattle
and
to
Zeke
load up on defense.
And Zeke on his rookie deal. So
yes, so they're in very good shape financially going forward to build that defense up to complement the offense.
Yeah.
So look out. That's exactly what Seattle did.
It would not shock me to see, maybe not this year, but a Raiders-Cowboys Super Bowl within the next 3 years. Would not shock me. They're both teams that are built in a sustainable and, in fact, even of fashion that they can improve.
Yeah, and it might actually improve the TV ratings if they did that.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have Atlanta +1 at Philly.
What do you think?
I
don't mind Atlanta here.
That's where I'm going. I'm looking at this board, by the way, and I was not pleased. I am definitely leaning towards Atlanta. I think they've got too many passing weapons. Philly's secondary, if Philly can get through the O-line, they can disrupt. But the way Atlanta is playing right now and getting the ball to the open guy, it's not just force it to Julio anymore.
And the other thing the Giants didn't have is a running game.
None at all.
Atlanta has a running game to go with the passing game.
Yeah.
And I know I've had a hard-on for the Eagles all year, but I really like Atlanta here as our underdog pick and just take it on the money line.
It's definitely in there, and I suspect it'll happen. Because this board is strange and unfriendly.
That's every week.
Yeah. Well, more so than most. All right. Atlanta is in the mix. Chicago is off the board at Tampa Bay because Winston is supposedly wearing a walking boot, was what I'd heard.
Oh, well. There goes our shot at over 8.5.
Well, he insists it's nothing, and they expect him to play, so I'm not quite ready to give up on that yet. I'm going to still take Tampa Bay. They have no home field advantage. I don't like that. But I do not believe what I saw in the last Chicago game against Minnesota. I do not think Cutler is the savior.
No, I think Minnesota's been exposed a little bit.
More than a little.
In the last 3 weeks.
Turns out you need an offensive line to play football and win.
Yeah.
So which way are you going on this?
I'll take Chicago. If Winston plays, I'm taking Tampa. But give me Chicago as for right now.
Okay.
The amount of passing yards Atlanta put up on them, Chicago's got a really good receiving core. Even though we only know the one guy.
I'm trying to think of the guy I dumped.
Alshon.
There's Alshon,
and then Meredith, the rookie. They're decent.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the third guy. I owned him. It's just I had too many good players in that league. No, it was Cameron Meredith.
And they've got Langford at the running back.
Well, it's been mainly Howard. It was Howard.
Or, I mean, that's who I meant. Who I meant.
But Langford's back, and then they've got a trio of running backs, all of whom are not bad. So,
Webb Martin's supposed to be back, I think, this week for Tampa Bay.
Okay.
Potentially.
Well, he was practicing, so
that's usually the sign that they're going to play.
Yeah, if they keep him out for another week, fine. But they're so thin at running back because they lost Smith, the guy they brought in as the replacement. He's out for the year now.
Yeah.
But I still prefer Tampa to Chicago.
Well, I do too, with their full complement on them. If they have Winston and Martin, yes. If they have Winston, I'm taking Tampa.
Yeah, okay. Next game up, we have Denver plus 2.5 at New Orleans. Based on what we just said, an interesting mix, because one thing New Orleans typically doesn't have is a reliable running game.
And they have two. They fucking Ingram gashed San Francisco.
Oh, I know, but that's just the last two games, though. Typically, they don't, right?
No, but Hightower rushed, when they benched Ingram, Hightower rushed for over 100.
Yeah.
Is Talib going to be back?
No idea on that yet.
Even though that didn't matter against the Raiders, it might against the Saints. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm taking New Orleans after seeing what the Raiders did on the ground.
Yeah, I'm going the same way, and I was almost to the point of considering this as a bet. I'd say we're probably right avoiding it simply because it smacks of just the Denver pissed us off pick.
Well, not only that, it's Kaepernick threw for over 300.
Yeah.
Against the Saints, which gives me pause. I'm going to take the Saints based on what Ingram and Hightower have done the last 2 weeks, and the Raiders gave them the blueprint on what to do, which should open it up even more for the running game, knowing what Breeze has done this year. The play action should work. The running game should work, especially to the left side of that Broncos D. Ware's only playing like 20 snaps a game.
Yeah.
And when Oakland wasn't in obvious passing downs, they kept 6 offensive linemen on the field.
They had six on the field virtually the entire game. It was over 90% of the snaps.
And just manhandled them. Miller had a sack in the first half, and you didn't hear his name the rest of the game.
And New Orleans' line is weakest on the interior, and that's not where Denver's pass rush comes from.
No.
Especially with Wolf gone. So, yeah, no, I like New Orleans here as well. We have Green Bay minus 2.5 at Tennessee.
Oh, we're going to get torched. I think we'll put up enough points. We're just not going to be able to hold, even though Rodgers hasn't looked himself, and that Indy defense is horrible, and they won in Green Bay. I just don't think we'll score enough.
I can't pull the trigger on Tennessee either.
Well,
Green Bay's not good. They've got
points.
Absolutely zero running game.
But that's generally not... I know Gordon rushed for almost 200, but that's usually not our problem.
No.
Like, the first drive of the game that you missed, that's usually our problem. Rivers dinked and dunked down the field in about 4 minutes for a touchdown on the opening possession. And then they went to Gordon the rest of the game. But if Rodgers is ever going to get right, this is the game to get right.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I'll be watching, but I hate to say it. I think we get totally destroyed.
The shock is that, for the most part, Indy was able to shut down Green Bay at home. That
I know, but I don't think I said at the start, our secondary is an issue.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to be staying away from this, even on my own.
But with Green Bay having no running game, maybe that we have a decent pass rush. And I think that was San Diego's game plan, take away our pass rush by running the ball.
Yeah, man, dink and dunk.
Yeah, so we know Green Bay's game isn't dink and dunk. They're looking downfield. I think that's part of their problem. Did they have a possession receiver that can go just 8 yards?
Oh, they might, but I don't think Rodgers throws it to him. I think he's holding it way too long, looking for the perfect pass. That is seriously my theory.
And the big play.
Do you ever see a quarterback hold it for 4 or 5 seconds these days like he does? The big play, he scans the field, he dances around, and he's unwilling to throw picks. Right? So he ends up not throwing anything.
Yeah, I was going to use the Chris Johnson analogy or parallel of a running back that's looking to hit the home run instead of just hitting the hole and getting 5 and letting the game come to him. Rodgers is trying to force everything down the field. Everything's got to be a 20-yard pass. And now, is that coaching and the route tree, or is that they just start improvising once he scrambles around there for 4 or 5 seconds?
Yeah, but
it's like the chicken or the egg. Which one is it? And I guess I'll learn more. I haven't watched a full Green Bay. And there's part of the reason I don't like watching games in the bar. Something had happened in another game. You look over. Oh, what's happening in our game? Oh,
yeah.
It's like
it's a talent, and I used to have it when that was about the only way to go see games, when bars could afford Sunday ticket before it was a home option. And I developed skills. You just restrict yourself to 2 or at most 3 games. But I've lost all those skills in the ensuing years. It was hard to stay focused. All right, we are both on Green Bay. Next up, we have Houston -1.5 at Jacksonville.
Okay, Houston's coming off a bye, correct?
Yes, off buys, and Bill O'Brien is 1-0.
And Jacksonville stinks.
Yeah.
The Texans have a decent running game. They have the best receiver out of the 2 teams. Better tight end play. Better quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say, I will even give Brock the slot over Bortles.
Their defense is better even without J.J. Watt. This line seems about 2-3 points too low in Houston's favor. I think it should be like 3.5.
Yeah.
I think there's value here. I like Houston.
I'm not against it. I'll put it in the mix. My big caveat, Allen Robinson is really good, too.
Yes, but without Hearns, you just double team him. There's no other option. They have no running game. With it being a point, if it was like 6, I would think, backdoor cover like they did against the Chiefs. But it's 1.5. Like, we were dead on that game. On not betting on the Chiefs.
Yep.
Even though we lost the pick and just our regular picks.
Yeah, but that one was exactly what we were afraid of.
We talked ourselves out of betting. A
backup quarterback for the Chiefs laying 7.5. We saw a backdoor cover coming all the way, especially because that's the only time Bortles is good.
Yes,
is against those soft prevent.
Yeah, eat the clock drives late in the game. So I like Houston here.
Okay, I'm not against that. Okay, next game up, we have KC +3 at Carolina. I believe Alex Smith is back.
Yeah. Macklin's questionable. He hasn't practiced all week with a groin. West is out, I believe, still.
Yes. Or no. Ware is out.
Ware's out.
West is in.
Yeah, and they re-signed Niall Davis after he bounced to about 8 teams in a week. Who'd go? Carolina beat the Rams 13-10. They scored a touchdown early in the first quarter and then did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Against that defense. Justin Houston's coming off the PUP list.
I don't think he'll play this week.
Oh, yeah, he's going to play. I think he's going to play.
That said, I don't hate Casey in this slot. I'm still not a believer in Carolina.
No, me either. I don't think they've turned anything around. The Rams team stinks. I posted video of a fan. Fire Fisher. Get him the fuck out of here. In the stands after the onside kick try. And it's... And they were calling for Jared Goff. And Fisher's still saying when he's ready, he'll start. They
were calling for picks. Tebow, for God's sake, though. So
but they traded numerous picks. Philly's rookies starting and got them in the playoff hunt. And Goff hasn't seen the fucking field yet. So it looks like they fucked up again. Gurley's not getting the ball. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Everybody thought that was why they were 8.5 over over 8.5 for their fucking preseason bet was because of Gurley. And I've hardly heard a fucking thing about him all year.
Well, and when you do watch them and you see Gurley get the ball, he's running into a wall because they have nothing else. We did see a play in that Rams game that you pointed out, just said this is why Case Keenum's a backup. He had a wide open receiver to the right. He had at least 3 steps. Keenum had nobody in his face, nothing, and just sailed the ball a solid 3 yards past where it should be.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You just said, well, watch this. This is why Keenum's a backup.
And that's why I can't understand why Hoyer doesn't start somewhere.
Well, he was starting in Chicago.
Oh, no, I know, but outside of injury, but why he signed as a backup, why wouldn't the Rams sign him? He's better than Keenum.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand at all. Have you heard anything about the $50 million man there this year? Tavon Austin? Have you seen a highlight with him in it? They gave him $50 million. I don't know what is going on there.
Yeah, that one was always strange because he'd be a good player on certain teams, like New England would find something to do with him.
Yeah, he would be an Edelman in the slot.
But in any case, they have no clue. But for some reason, was it 50? I thought it was more 33, but it was still outrageous.
No, that might be guaranteed. It was 50 for the length. But you sign a receiver to that kind of money when he's playing with a quarterback that should be in the Arena League.
Yeah.
But
that said, do we want Casey in the mix here?
You can put him in the mix.
Okay.
We'll see what we have at the end.
I mean, what
Carolina's defense has picked up a little, but I don't know if that's just a function of the teams they played the last couple of weeks.
Well, who was it? Niners and Rams?
Yeah. Was it No, it wasn't the Niners. 2 weeks ago. Was it? No, the Niners were their first win after they lost to Denver.
They were off 2 weeks ago, and the week before...
You got it there.
Yeah. Week before, they lost 38-41 to New Orleans.
Yeah, they've got 3 wins, though, don't they now, or just 2?
I think it's just
3.
2.
No, they've won their last...
Tampa Bay beat them. Oh, do you know what I'm missing? I don't have sheets for the week you were gone.
Yeah. No, they won that week.
Okay. And I think it might have been the Niners. But, yeah, so I still have not... Well, who hit Cam in the knees?
Oh, it was Arizona.
Okay.
They beat... No,
the
Niners
Arizona. They thrashed
the Niners
Arizona.
they beat in week 2.
Okay.
After they lost to Denver. They beat up on the Niners and then everybody thought, okay, this is what we expect. Then they lost 4 straight. Now they've won a couple in a row.
Yeah, we'll see if anything's better. Okay,
yeah.
Next game. Oh, Jesus. What do you want to do Sunday? I don't think I'll be watching much football. LA Rams at the New York Jets.
Well, the games we've looked at so far, if you wanted to rank them in order of watchability, goes KC, Carolina, Green Bay, Tennessee.
Denver, New Orleans.
That Denver offense, I don't know if it'd be worth watching.
I have questions anyway. I'm intrigued
at
least. But, yeah.
No, this is a shit team against shit team scenario. Forget it. Rams will win. Fitzpatrick's got a fucking bum knee. Says he's going to play. Geno Smith's out. I don't know who their third string quarterback is.
Oh, it's that kid.
Oh, yeah. The hot shot had a good preseason. I can't remember his name. Not that it'll matter, because that Rams defense should punish him. And there's all sorts of problems in New York. Their 2 best defensive players are head cases. Mo Wilkerson missed a team walkthrough on his birthday.
And they benched him for a quarter.
And they benched the other guy, too. Richardson?
Yeah.
They were both benched for the first quarter. So when your 2 best players on defense aren't buying in and act like that, the rest of the team ain't following anywhere. And since they lost Decker and Brandon Marshall's basically by himself, the offense is in serious trouble. Forte's all they've got.
Forte right. and Marshall, for all the difficulties he's facing, is still playing hard and doing.
Oh no, I'm
well.
not. But he doesn't have a hope.
No,
because it's all they've got. So you can double him. You saw what Baltimore did to Antonio Brown, where they had a corner on him. I don't know if it was a dime back, bracketing him about 15 yards up the field and a safety deep. And he had nothing until garbage time. So if that's happening to him, Brandon Marshall doesn't have a fucking chance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm with the Rams too, but I don't want to go anywhere near it.
No, shit against shit. No.
All right, next up we have Minnesota +3 at Washington. Well, we got off the horse a couple of games too late on Minnesota.
Yeah.
Do I believe this Washington team? Not really, but they're at home. And Kelly is running well for them.
When the Vikings defense hasn't been great or game-changing like they were 5-0 based on their defense.
Yeah, you said back in week 2, said all they need is 17, but they can't seem to legitimately even get to 17.
No.
And the defense is showing cracks.
And as you mentioned before, offensive line play.
They've got nothing.
And they had nothing even when Peterson was healthy. They couldn't run.
Josh Norman You know, depending on if they move him around. But, I mean, you take Stephon Diggs out of it, who's a good enough player, but he's no superstar, by the way.
No.
But you take him out, what does Minnesota have on offense?
Kyle Rudolph. And he had a whopping 1 catch for 1 yard last week.
It was a touchdown, but...
Well, still.
But that was against the team that's given up a touchdown to a tight end, I believe, in every game this year in the Detroit Lions. So, yeah, I'm all over Washington here, and I'm not even against betting it.
I don't want to bet it, but
Okay.
I'm taking Washington.
Okay.
Minnesota had something. I can't believe a team goes 5-0 and then is going to lose 7 in a row.
They had the bye week, and Sam Bradford started to think. Do you know when he looked good? When he had 30 plays on an armband and came in and just did it like a kid playing in the lot. As soon as that guy starts to think...
Yeah, but the defense was putting him in a position where they didn't have to score a lot.
Yeah.
Which took the pressure off. They never had to take chances.
They did, but they did go downfield a bunch against Green Bay, which looks less impressive in retrospect as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like Washington quite a bit here. All right, next up, we cannot bet. Miami, +4 at San Diego.
The Buddy Bowl. There was a thing on TV today.
Jay Ajayi and Melvin Gordon. Well, Ajayi's a head case, so I don't want him talking to Melvin.
They're the closest out of that group, they said, out of the running backs that were drafted 2 years ago.
Yeah, I saw that too, but I'm going to, as a team official, I'm going to take away Melly's phone and delete that number.
But they appear to be the 2 best running backs out of that class from 2 years ago.
Yeah. Actually, this last game with Ajayi impressed me more than the 200 ones, which were just yawning holes, completely blown plays. What I saw from him this weekend was more like a running back you can game plan on.
Yeah.
I think he looks really good. That
I
said,
don't know.
Miami has a lot of problems elsewhere. San Diego can pressure the passer. We're a lot better than the Jets. And
Yes.
Miami struggled mightily against the Jets. This number's about where it should be.
Yeah. No, after watching what San Diego's offense can do last weekend. Yeah, no, I'm going to take the Chargers.
Yeah, me too. Even though, like I said, this is almost exactly where the number should be.
Yeah, but you guys should be able to put up between 30 and 35 against Miami's defense. And I don't think you give up. Tannehill's not as good as Mariota.
No, and we have a pass rush now. Our secondary's generally not bad, though we've been dropping injuries in and out. Our safety play is terrible. Where are you, Eric Weddle? Oh, yeah, Baltimore. Fuck you, Dean Spanos. Next up, we have Dallas +2.5 at Pittsburgh. This seems fishy to me, Boyd. I'm leaning towards just staying away.
Oh, I would love to take... I want to take Dallas on the money line. How are they going to stop Elliott? Nobody has. How is Pittsburgh going to do it? Roethlisberger is still gimpy. I don't know how a 7-1 team that has done what Dallas has done would be a 2.5-point underdog. We've stayed away from Dallas almost the whole year, and they're 7-1. And they're the best team against the spread in the NFL right now.
Yeah, okay, that's...
What I don't understand the line at all. I know what you mean when you think it's fishy.
And it's in Pittsburgh, you know...
Yeah, but it's... Talent outwins Pittsburgh Baltimore gave you the recipe for shutting down that passing game. Roethlisberger doesn't have that safety net tight end anymore. I don't know why they can't run the ball, but it won't matter. Dallas will eat the clock. They will eat the clock with Elliott. Still got Dez, still got Witten. I don't see a scenario where Pittsburgh wins this game. Look what they looked like against Miami and then Baltimore. What makes people think that this Pittsburgh team is good?
Well, one, you haven't even mentioned Le'Veon Bell. I have questions about Dallas's defense.
But Bell hasn't done shit the last 2 weeks either. And not against outstanding opponents. He did nothing against Miami. Pouncey could be out.
Okay, like Pittsburgh lost 34-3 to Philly. The next week, KC, who is a good team, Pittsburgh beat them 43-14 at home.
And that's the one anomaly?
No, Pittsburgh at home is putting up over 30 points. Pittsburgh on the road is putting up 2 touchdowns tops.
They won't have the ball enough. To handle Dallas. This seems more to me a national betting thing with the Steeler fans than an actual line.
But Dallas is the second highest bet team of all, too. That would make sense if this were Arizona or some other team, right? But Dallas and Pittsburgh are both crowd favorites all the time. It's just, I'm not against it. I'm just saying the line seems fishy, and we've commented before on these fishy lines. You know the officials whenever they're in Pittsburgh, the officiating is as bad as the officiating in Seattle.
Now, in a normal team with a rookie quarterback starting, I would agree, but Pittsburgh's defense, they don't scare me at all. At all to stop Elliott. Nobody stopped him. Yeah. This isn't the Steeler defense from 5-6 years ago when the Ravens...
You there?
I don't see how Dallas loses this game.
Yeah, okay, well, it's definitely in the mix. We'll see at the end here. Next game up, we have San Francisco plus 13 at Arizona. I'm not touching that spread.
Shittiest team against an average team.
Yeah. 13 seems a little high to me.
Nah, not at home for Arizona. I'm going to take Arizona.
I'm going to take the Niners.
Kaepernick's not throwing for 300 yards.
No, I just haven't seen enough out of Arizona to make me believe they should be almost a 2-touchdown favorite over anybody.
Is Carlos Hyde
There's
playing?
No fucking way. As far as I know, not. But they ran successfully against New Orleans.
Yeah.
I think Arizona's got problems on defense. I'm not going to make a hard case on this. But Arizona's not a 13-point team to me.
Well, not against any team but Cleveland and San Francisco, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
That's why I take them.
Okay, well, I figured we had to have a second one different. Okay, next up, Seattle plus 7.5 at New England.
I don't want to touch it.
No, I think we took our reasonable spreads.
If it was 7...
Yeah, it would interest me more. It could be a backdoor cover. I have no problem taking New England for just purposes of picking.
No.
And thank you, New England. We finally made some money on you this year.
Well, yeah, the spreads were under a touchdown, finally.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Seattle has. They gave up, what was the final in that game? 31-25?
Yeah. Yeah, they're giving up some points
to the Bills.
Buffalo.
Although New England gave up points to Buffalo, but that was all shit time. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I worry about too. New England's given up a reasonable number of points.
Yes. But after they're up 41-13, it's like, yeah, okay.
I'm not going to argue that they're the best team in the league by any means, but I do not think they are the mortal lock that many people seem to be saying.
Well, see, I think they might be a mortal lock because there's no team with a defense this year that's scary enough to stop them. And no team that can match them offensively in either conference. Maybe Atlanta on a good day, but I can't see Atlanta getting there.
Yeah,
he's the only team.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the Cowboys Patriots will be interesting. I don't think New England's faced anyone with that kind of run game.
No, and that's been their weakness the last few years.
And they all say, "Well, yeah, but we were without our quarterback." But you also faced a Buffalo team that was injured, Pittsburgh without that. The ball has been bouncing a bit the New England's way as well.
Yes, but
in terms of the matchup.
But just offensively, I don't think there's anybody as efficient as the Patriots.
No, I
put up as many points.
I started this by saying I agree they're probably the best team in the league, but I do not think that they are world-class dominant yet.
They're pretty close. Who in the AFC could beat them? Kansas City, maybe?
Oakland? Kansas City?
I don't know if Oakland's there yet. Maybe, if they stick to a game plan and running the ball.
If they do that, they're capable of putting up points. You're right, the secondary might not be bad, but we're only halfway through the season.
No, I know.
Oakland brought in a bunch of free agents, and the defense has been slowly getting better.
I know, but the only games that defense looked remotely capable was against the Titans and the Broncos.
Yeah.
And until Kendall Wright came back, the Titans had no passing game.
New England has no pass rush to speak of.
They will do enough. New England will do enough to get through the AFC this year. There's no scary defense waiting for them at the end like last year.
Yeah. No, you're probably right. Again, it's not nothing I'm going to stake a claim, but
no, where we've made our money
I'm not
betting.
anointing them yet.
No, but where we've made our money betting against New England was the Giants and the Broncos.
Yeah. But
then that
crown their ass.
That was world-class defense. And there's not one of those teams out there this year.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And on the Monday night, we have Cincy +1 at the New York Giants.
No thanks. Or do you like Cincy here?
God, no. No, I actually used the cough button because I sneezed.
Oh, I'm like,
That's
what?
The big pause.
You got something?
I thought you'd say something longer than 2 syllables.
Well,
I thought I'd have a
moment. What am I supposed to say? I don't like this game at all for betting purposes.
No.
Cincinnati had a decent defense last year. I don't know where that disappeared to. I could see Hill and Bernard having big games in this one against the Giants. I don't know if the Bengals can stop Beckham. Like, the Giants got a pretty tasty receiving core. If they could get some other part of that team going.
Yeah, the absence of the rush should be hurting them more. Like, I really don't believe in the Giants. I think they're a terrible football team, but they keep coming up and biting my ass with wins. But
it's that receiving core. Like Shepard had a good game against the Eagles. Beckham had a couple of touchdowns. Cruz had a nice catch before he tweaked his ankle. I don't know. I can't remember the name of their tight end, number 45. Big
Donald?
bitch. No.
Yeah,
I don't know. But if Cincy's defense was playing like it did last year, this spread would be Cincy minus 2.5.
yeah. Since he's
But
off
it's
the
not.
bye, but Lewis after the bye is a completely meaningless 6-6.
Oh, thanks, Marvin.
I'm gonna go Cincy here just because I still don't believe in these Giants.
I'm taking the Giants.
All right. No, I don't want to bet it by any means, but
No.
okay, so that leaves us 4 games to choose from. We have Atlanta +1 at Philly, Houston -1.5 at Jacksonville, KC +3 at Carolina, and Dallas +2.5. So you swayed me on Dallas.
Okay.
So let's do Dallas and Atlanta. I think we both kind of agree on.
Yeah.
Do we want to both money line them?
Yeah. Because that 2.5 points is meaningless now with the way everything works. With the scoring.
Well, I think there are more 1 and 2 point victories than there ever have been.
No, but if you're taking the underdog, when it's that low spread, I don't see the value in taking the points. Okay, so we're taking Dallas on the money line. Now watch, everything I've said this year has been the opposite of what happened, so it'll end up Dallas will lose by 2.
Yeah.
So Dallas +120 to beat Pittsburgh at the ketchup bottle. $10 pays 22. Booked. Now, which was the other one? Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta.
Definitely on the money line there.
Yeah. So we have Atlanta road. We're taking the road dogs. Atlanta +1 at Philly. $10 pays $19.52. Booked. The other one I like is Houston. More so than Kansas City.
No, did you just bet Atlanta +1? I thought we were doing that on the money line too.
No, I did on the money line. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's a bad price for the money line, but okay.
No, it's -105, but that 1 point means nothing.
Yeah.
It's basically a pick.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just expecting us to at least get +100 on the money line, but okay.
No.
All right, and that leaves us Houston and KC. Now, on Houston and Jacksonville, the only thing I want to bring up is it's 2 shitty teams.
Yeah, but Houston's going to win that division. You've called it all year.
No.
And it's a bottom feeder. Jacksonville is just slightly above San Francisco and Cleveland.
Yeah, and I guess KC, we don't really know what's up with Smith.
Or Macklin, and the running backs are on 3rd, 4th string.
Yeah, okay, the running back sways it.
Okay, so we're taking Houston -1.5 at Jacksonville. $10 pays $19.52. That's not a bad price.
No. Makes up for my disappointment in the Atlanta price. Okay. To summarize, we have 2 money line bets this week. We have Dallas at Pittsburgh, 10 pays 22. And we have Atlanta at Philly, 10 pays 19.52. We also have Houston -1.5 at Jacksonville, $10 pays 19.52.
All right. You can check out our podcast on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Our personal Twitter accounts at OLinesMarlon or at OLinesBoyd. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and those were our picks for Week 10.
The Orange Menace will save the NFL.
I, for one, support our new Orange Overlord.
Degenerate fucking gambler.